Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing great. This is my friend Ash. Ash, thank you so much for
No problem.
accepting the invitation here. This is just a quick chat on tips and recommendations on how to, or any pieces of advice for how you can improve your English while you're not in a community or society that speaks English as a first or even second language, except for some rare cases of people just do it for business communication or corresponding via emails with foreign agencies. Now, based on your experience here living in Iraq as a British citizen, what do you think is the best, not ideal, because there's no one best way. There are,
Absolutely.
of course, so many ways to help you get started, kind of create some bridge with English language. And I'm talking to you right now just because I want my voice to be recorded on the microphone. To help you speak English better, improve your language, and progressively and steadily improve it over the course of time.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Walid, there is no one method. There is no one single way to improve your English. It all depends, first of all, on the individual. And understanding how you learn is probably the most important thing. From my experience learning languages, let's say, for example, Turkish, I can't learn with grammar books and organized textbooks. I learn through listening, and then through the listening, I can repeat. So I find that my listening skills improve first, and then step by step, speaking, reading, writing. But for another person, it could be a different pattern. My Arabic is Mozain, so like it's not every language is different, every individual is different. So you need to understand that understanding your own learning methods is very, very important. And don't just think, oh, I can't do it, my friend does it like this and they're successful. This has a negative impact on your ability to learn and to process. So really understanding this is so, so important. And once you identify how you learn, for example, if you are let's say, a visual learner, or you're particularly good with listening, you can utilize, I've seen so many young Iraqis, with like using music and film as a means to learn English. This is a great method. But for example, you also need to put that into like a step-by-step process.
I have an objection here.
Okay.
These kind of movies are based on scripts written by very professional, prolific writers like Stephen King and his Ivy League writers. So, to what extent, or let me rephrase it, what kind of genre of movies do you recommend learners to focus on, especially in the beginning level of, or elementary level of language learning?
So first of all, you need to find a genre that suits you. This is very important. For example, I love history and drama, these sorts of things. If I'm learning a language and I'm watching a romantic comedy, I'm not interested in that. So you need to find something that you're actually interested in.
Like a niche kind of.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be some personal engagement with it. Also, for example, going in with a performance of Shakespeare, for example, is pointless. Try and find things that may be related to everyday life. TV shows, for example, offer this, particularly things like sitcoms. They have this day-to-day language. Even, for example, starting at very basic. I have my sister has kids, and sitting with them, kids animation. It's funny, even for older people, and this is a good way to sort of begin those basic steps. Having subtitles, depending on what stage your English is, either in Arabic or in English. If, for example, you're very early and you just need to have that support from the Arabic, having the subtitles is a benefit. But if you're more advanced, having English subtitles is going to be a massive help in terms of your in all skills, because you will be able to visualize the grammar as it's being spoken. If you're just listening to it, you might miss it, but by having that visual aid, you're going to be able to see how to construct a sentence and utilize the grammar correctly without having to read a textbook, etc.
So, as a British speaker of English, as a British citizen from Ireland, right?
England.
I receive tsunami of messages saying I prefer British accent or British dialect.
I have something about this. I
want you to say, to chip in and say what you want to say about the controversy of American superiority or British superiority of dialect and accent. It's really bothering me when I get to debate on this topic. So what's your take on that?
Can I be polite or rude?
I want you to be extremely rude.
Okay. Love is a strong word. America.
Let's use it.
The British are much more delicate in the way that we speak, more diplomatic. As a result, people think maybe British people are quite cold compared to Americans, because I do believe that Americans speak what they're saying, and their language reflects that. It's a very simple, open form of English, which actually helps you really sort of learn English. British, we have a way of like masking what we're trying to say. It's part of the sugarcoating things. I mean, if I say to an American, "Oh, that's a great job," they go, "Oh, like you're happy," but actually, like to me, I'm like, it's okay. Like everything, our culture affects the way that we speak. Americans are very optimistic. That's reflected in their language.
That's why Britain is more successful diplomatically than American when it comes to foreign policy.
No comment. You could argue that. I think it's part of the culture. It affects the language and the way that we speak. For example, learning Iraqi, going to Egypt or going to Saudi, it's completely. There's difference.
When you say they're learning Iraqi, what do you mean? Like, can you give me a context of certain words that you've learned?
For example, like because I learned Turkish, I can see the Turkish influence on the Iraqi language.
Do we have Iraqi language?
I mean, okay, Arabic, but let's say the dialect. But sometimes, after going to Cairo, I see Iraqi. It's like a completely different language.
Of course.
But it's these cultural factors that impact on the language. For me, I love history, so this is very important. But understanding this is also going to help you with the language.
For food, just to cut you in here, for food, there's an expression called smuggsberg. Is this
smorgasbord?
Smuggsberg. It's exactly identical to the concept of Iraqi dialect, because Iraqi Arabic is just a combination of so many
mix of different things.
Turkish, Farsi, other combination of words from Britain, and they just come to this heterogeneity of of vocabulary. So I think it's the concept is applicable to when it comes to learning Arabic by an English speaker.
Exactly.
When it comes to learning,
for example, let's look at suffixes in Iraqi. Like, for example, I think you say like kebabchi. This chi.
That's not Arabic.
It's a Turkish suffix
that
relates to
from coffee.
The person who is doing this. So being able to identify these suffixes will also help you understand the words, even in English. For example, if you have the stem word and then the suffix, it helps you understand, okay, well, I know this word. This one indicates that, these sorts of things. So that's helped me, for example, because I'm familiar with that.
So focusing on derivations and inflections, or what we commonly say as suffixes, is going to help you dramatically. So instead of learning one category of nouns, you can learn the category of nouns in addition to its inflections and derivations. And I'll explain that later in one of the videos to walk you through what the concept of suffixes and how we can apply on language.
And I'll give you a word. What's it? Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Of course.
It's basically one word just made up of
combination.
Prefixes and suffixes that counter each other out.
Okay. Ash, thank you so much
No,
for
anytime,
being a
anytime.
guest here. It's
Welcome.
such a lovely conversation to talk about. I would love to elaborate more, but I think the memory is maxing out to
Sure.
8 gigabytes.
No, that's fine. Well, I'll go and let me know on the comment
Sure.
section about British or American.
I'll tag you along on the video, and then we can start from there.
Okay.
Doing some debate on which one is better: Canadian, American, British, Australian, Singapore, Indian, Pakistani, English.
Well, I have to practice my
Iraqi
diplomacy
English.
then.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
lovely
you.
day.